who, by the way, the Russell family left the United States to escape persecution because they were loyalists to the crown, and they were rewarded by the Queen by giving them this extremely inhospitable place to live. So, thanks, Queen. The mission today is to find the ruins of, we're gonna call them the James family. I can't remember the name of this family, but sometime back in the day, these people built this settlement, and there's 10 houses somewhere here on Hawksbill Cay. And so we're gonna go and try to find these houses. There are ruins of these houses. Somewhere is the path to the settlement, and we can't find it. Oh! You see something? I think I see something. We think we may have found a clue as to where the settlement is. We think that the family who started the settlement probably put these rocks out as a marker in order to find their way back home when they went out to sea. So we're gonna see if we can find some more rocks and find the ruins. We've got the dinghy secure. Danielle's got her approved footwear on. There's the dinghy. And here we go, following these rocks. Let's see what we find. Ooh. It looks like there's some kind of path here. What do you think, honey? Are there any howler monkeys?
This is not a path.
No path? Nope. All right. So far we struck out. We'll keep looking. This looks like it could be something going through the bush. I'm right here, honey. Look out for the howler monkeys.
Seems like a path, doesn't it?
Kinda. So far the path has been tough to find, but we saw some more markers down the way, so we'll see if that's the way to the settlement. Those markers were a bust. We're gonna go up the beach and see if we can find something else that might give us an indication of where we can get in. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have these here. Danielle thinks someone just piled them up to mislead us, because the settlement has a bunch of treasure buried by pirates. So
rock stacking is a thing.
We'll find it, and rock stacking is a thing. So we'll find it. Still looking for a sign of where to go in. The beach looks pretty barren right now. It's a beautiful beach. Not the most beautiful of days. We're not to be deterred. Danielle spotted something that looks like another type of marker. She's gonna go up and scope it out, and I'm gonna watch the dinghy. Looks like there's a small bench that maybe the family built while waiting for their fishermen to come back, or the villagers built, and some type of post. seems to be a cleared path, and Danielle found a stack of rocks that could be a path indicator. Now, we've been fooled in the past from the beach when we found rocks, but we haven't found rocks this far up. Here are the rocks right here. Danielle's sure this is a path. We'll give you a look. This could be it. We may have found the way to the settlement. It certainly seems that this would be a good path to get back after a day on the sea. And here's yet another marker. It would be very surprising if we're not close to the settlement. And here's another marker. And truth be told, we really have no idea for what we're looking. They say that there's houses or foundations of houses and something called a beehive oven. All of which, how they look after a couple hundred years, we don't know. But that's what we're looking to find out today on Vuja Day Living. The path is now starting to narrow and go through the bush. We're going up a hill. And I would say the best place to build would be further away in the protection of a higher spot. Should we split up? Okay, I'll go straight. I'll look for you. You think that's the highest part of the island? What? We're gonna backtrack. Danielle says something's amazing. We're going back to go up the hill. So far we haven't found the settlement, but Danielle found what may be the highest point on the island. If not the highest point, it's definitely way up here. We'll give you a look around. You can see the sound behind us. This is the Exumas sound right there. And what we were just looking at with the teal water was the Exuma banks, the more shallow western side, and the protected side from the east wind. The wind's blowing pretty good today, and we're supposed to have an even bigger storm coming in the next couple of days. It's a pretty neat view. This type of rock is found all over in the Bahamas. I think it's a limestone that's been worn away by weather. That's why when you're hiking like this, it's important to have a good pair of footwear like these Keens that I'm wearing now. They're waterproof and they're good hikers. They're protecting my feet. Yesterday I was wearing my reef sandals and I have some cuts on my feet because of it. Today I thought twice and geared up. At the top of that hill, we weren't able to see any ruins or any buildings or any clearing, but there's still a path that goes on from the hill, and that's what we're following right now. And hopefully this is it. It looks very promising. If not, it's definitely getting us to the other side of the key, to where we will see some amazing breakers. why someone would think that this would be a great place to start a settlement and to live. It's lush and green, and the sea is on both sides. That's full of life. But the conditions out here are actually quite harsh. There's many storms that come through. We're in the middle of Christmas winds right now. Catching fish in the sea is difficult, and the land isn't very arid. You can't grow anything, and there's not a whole lot of fruits that grow on these trees. In fact, we haven't seen a coconut on this entire island. Not a coconut. So it's a tough place for them to live, and it's understandable why the settlement may not have survived. We dropped Danielle off at the big boat. She didn't want to take the rough ride around the point from the beach where we last landed the dinghy. I went on ahead. We're still trying to find the ruins of, it's the Russell family. When we went back to the big boat, I made sure to confirm what the name of the family is. It's not the James family, it's the Russell family. Now I've run back around the point, and we're coming up to the beach where I think we might be able to find the path. Another nice thing about the Keens is they're waterproof. Waterproof footwear, when you live the lifestyle that we do, is very important. This ought to show you, when we're landing the dinghy, we're always in the water. And these Keens will take a beating if I can get them on. When we're landing the dinghy, we're always in the water and in the sand. And these Keens will take a beating. We've landed the dinghy on a beautiful, calm, leeward beach. And the wind, you wouldn't think it's blowing when you're on a beach like this, but it's blowing quite strong. Hopefully we can find some indication of a path that this would be the landing beach for the loyalists and the settlers to find these ruins, where the Russell family in 1783 got a grant from the Queen, because the Bahamas, they're part of the Great British nation, however you say that, and they got a grant, the Russell family, to start this settlement here, and they didn't make it. So I'm looking for clues again, any type of marker that might tell us that this is the right path to the Russell family settlement. Here we've got a piece of fishing net that could very well be one of the ways that they marked their path. And over here it looks like they may have at one time put up another marker, kind of a street sign, if you will. This could be the way to the ruins. Once again, we're starting to find more of this type of thing, where they would mark their path to try to find their way back home from a day of fishing or being on the beach, whatever they might have been doing to try and survive in these harsh conditions in the Bahamas. And it looks like there's a clearing. And I'm finding some more indications. I don't know, this might be a real good indicator right here that we're on the path to the ruins of the settlement from 1783, where the Russell family was given a grant by the Queen to start a settlement here. This could be an indication that we're on the right path. Let's keep going. We're once again headed up a steep incline, which I think is a great place to put a settlement, far away from the waves of a beach and the possible tides that can come in and wash your housing away. And so I think that last marker might have been what we were looking for in order for us to find the Russell family settlement ruins. This looks like the path is small and windy. Again, if you were trying to hide your settlement from, say, pirates in the 1800s, or from enemies that may want to attack your camp, this would be the place to, or this would be a good path. Not too wide to indicate where your settlement is, but not too narrow so that you can't use it. And again, I think I found another indication that we might be on the right path to finding the Russell family ruins. This path goes two ways. I'm not sure which way to go. I think I'll go right, and then maybe it'll circle back around. Apparently, around the houses, there's 10 houses that were built in this settlement in 1783 to 1785, and various families apparently lived here all the way up until 1900. The last known inhabitant of this place was a fella called Rocker, who, as legend has it, he died from bleeding to death from a barracuda bite. And we're coming up upon what looks to be a wall. It looks like a rock wall. I think we've been successful in finding the ruins of the Russell family settlement from the late 1800s. It's starting to rain. I think we found one of the structures of the Russell family ruins. We have success here on Hawksbill Cay in the Exuma Land and Sea Park. I'm going to go on and see if maybe we can find a different house. This house measures maybe 10 by 10, maybe 10 by 15. Very small looking structure, as I would expect to see in a place like this. There aren't very many resources around. There's not a lot of lumber. This looks like an aloe plant, a big aloe plant. I'm not sure. We'll have to ask a plant expert about that. If any of you out there know what kind of plant that was, and it's not an aloe plant, feel free to chime in the comment section below. We're moving forward past that foundation to see if we can find more signs of life. This looks here like it could be some type of structure that was built by settlers that might have come here. We're again on a very narrow path. This looks like to be a rock wall. That must have been part of the rock wall. A rock wall that the settlers may have built to mark their path in these harsh environments of the Bahamas. And the path is getting very treacherous at this point. I'm following this rock wall, which looks to be a part of the settlement built by, no doubt, the Russell family. We'll keep pushing forward here into the bush, following the rock wall. We'll see if we can find more ruins of houses from the 1800s, from the 18th century, the 1700s. This looks to be another structure that could possibly have been a part of a house. Oh, here we go. Here, this looks like a window. I think we've definitely found another structure. This looks to be a window right here. We have found the Russell family ruins of the Exumas on Hawksbill Cay. And there's paths going different ways. I'm going to explore and see what else we can find. Right now it doesn't look like much, and frankly I don't think it was much when they first built the settlement. I can't imagine trying to live in a place like this without modern conveniences that we have today to build a deep well and to build a structurally sound place. Living in a house that was just stone and trying to farm wherever we could farm it would be a miserable existence. And I can understand why this settlement didn't prosper. Soon we'll go down to Georgetown, where the settlement did prosper, and in the Exumas it is the biggest. Here's another watering hole right here. The Georgetown is the biggest town in the Exumas, a boating mecca, a modern town, much different than what we had here in the 18th century, 1785 to 1900. So I guess they were around for a little while, off and on, but really a subsistence lifestyle. I believe what I found here is what's called a beehive oven, and the colonists, who, by the way, the Russell family left the United States to escape persecution because they were loyalists to the crown, and they were rewarded by the Queen by giving them this extremely inhospitable place to live. So thanks, Queen. Anyway, this is, I believe, what is called a beehive oven, and they used it not only for cooking but also for incinerating conch shells such as this one, which they then would have used for mortar for the sides of the walls of their houses. So this is pretty fascinating. This has been here since the late 1700s, and there's some conch still around to show that conch right there may have been here since the beginning of this settlement. And hey, I'm going to call this a successful quest for the Russell family ruins here on Hawksbill Cay in the Exumas Land and Sea Park. My name is Dean. I appreciate you watching Vuja Day Living, and if you liked this episode, or you have any comments, or you've been here, or you have any questions, feel free to leave them below in the comments section. We answer every single comment in one way or another. Danielle and I do. And until next time, we appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the water. This land is fraught with danger, like cactus. Okay.